My name is Darren Feinblum, and I'm one of the partners at Feinblum, Hanel, and Higgins. Oftentimes I get the question from people is, how am I going to defend myself against my DUI charge? And this is usually right after they're arrested. Well, let's talk a little bit about what the elements are for a DUI. They've got to prove, one, that you're impaired, and two, that you were driving or in actual physical control of a motor vehicle. So those are the two building blocks that the state attorney's office has to prove. Keep in mind that there's a lot of other ways to challenge a DUI. Let's talk about first and foremost the stop of your vehicle. In any case, we here at Feinblum, Hanel, and Higgins want to determine whether you were lawfully stopped. Why we're looking into that is because it's called the fruit of the poisonous tree. If you've been stopped illegally, anything that results from that stop is excludable, including your breath test, your field sobriety test, even your identity. And without that information, there's no way they can prove a DUI charge. Assuming the stop was for something that was lawful, speeding, weaving, where you affected other traffic, then we're looking at the detention. Did they have enough information or reasonable suspicion to detain you for a DUI investigation? Quite often or common, we see the police put in the report odor of alcohol, bloodshot, watery eyes, slurred speech. And that generally will be enough for them to detain you for a DUI investigation. However, keep in mind they must show signs of impairment. Drinking and driving is not necessarily illegal. What's illegal is to be impaired. So the next issue is, and what normally happens is you're stopped and they call out a DUI officer. Did that person detain you lawfully while waiting for the DUI officer to come out? That's another challenge that we want to make on your DUI case if it's relevant. Once you've been detained and the field sobriety tests are taking place, we need to look into whether those were done properly. Did they follow the NHTSA standards of which they were trained on? We need to look into whether they voluntarily offered you those field sobriety tests or they improperly coerced you into taking them. That's another challenge where we might be able to exclude your field sobriety test. Then we get to the point of after arrest. After your arrest, you're generally asked to provide a breath sample. That's where we get on board and we challenge the results of that breath test, depending on what they were. If they were over the limit, we need to look at the calibration of the machine. We need to look at all the factors and all the modifications that occurred with the machine. Everything and anything that has to do with the Intoxilizer 8000 in the state of Florida, we need to get into. We're going to do all of this stuff. We're going to make sure that we defend you to the fullest extent of the law and provide you the aggressive representation you need on your DUI charge.